There's arguably no better feeling in the world than when Christmas season rolls back around and you get to turn on your favorite Hallmark movies, get out a cup of hot cocoa or hot tea, and work on your Christmas crochet projects. In today's video, I'm going to be bringing you 30 patterns to help you get into the holiday spirit. This is going to be different from my last video that I made with the 30 Christmas crochet gift ideas. If you're looking for less seasonal themed patterns for gifts, definitely go and check that one out. Today we are focused just on the Christmas items. Personally, I like to gift my friends and family things that are not Christmas or holiday themed, just because usually they'll have to wait the full year to use it again. So if you're looking for that, definitely go check that video out. But today we are doing all things Christmas. If you're new here, hi, my name's Erica. I love any and everything yarn related, but primarily I focus on crochet. I do a lot of these pattern roundup videos, so if this is up your alley, I hope you'll consider subscribing and hanging out some more. If you're not new here, then welcome back. Per usual with my pattern roundup videos, I have the Google Doc linked in the description box down below, so if you see anything that you like in this video, be sure to go and check that out. Everything will be in the order that we talk about them, as well as each of the respective designers are listed out there too. With that, we can go ahead and jump into the first section, which is Amigurumi. The first pattern in the Amigurumi section is the Dress Up Snowman by Amy Ting, also known as Curious Papaya. And if you don't know who she is an insanely talented amigurumi designer. She just recently came out with a book, actually. But not only that, she is a genuinely kind person. I've gotten to hang out with her a couple of times. We live in the same area. So she's a great person, great amigurumi designer. Go check her out. And this Dress Up Snowman pattern is a free pattern that she has up. And I love this. It looks beginner friendly, fun to make, but also the twist of being able to crochet up accessories for it is so cute. It looks like you can make a Santa hat, a top hat, the scarf, the little beanie. Everything about this is just adorable. Next is the Elf Christmas Ornament Amigurumi by Little Crochet Farm. If you asked me to picture like the perfect Christmas elf, this is exactly what it would look like. I love the traditional colors that were used for this one, and I also like how small it came out using what looks like a wait for yarn to me. If you go on Little Crochet Farm's YouTube channel, you'll also find a bunch of other tutorials in the same series. So she has a gingerbread man and a few other options as well. If you wanted to crochet up an entire collection, I think that would be so cute on your tree, or maybe a mini tree at the office, or if you did want to gift them to someone, maybe just give them to them a little earlier than Christmas Day. They could use them to decorate their tree, and I think it would all be very sweet. Next is this Santa Claus Amigurumi by Danielle L. Designs, and it is a free YouTube tutorial. However, she has a written PDF up on her Etsy as well that includes quite a few other options. It looks like there's 5 total different amigurumi you can make if you purchase the pattern, but the free Santa alone I feel is super generous. I'm typically not a big fan of this whole pink Christmas thing. I was just telling Devin that the other day actually at Michael's. I personally gravitate more towards like the traditional colors, red, green. Sometimes I like a blue and a silver combination thrown in, but pink, I don't know, I just haven't been able to wrap my head around it. However, for some reason here it's working for me. I think it's just because the amigurumi is so cute anyways. I still think it would look great worked up in like a traditional red outfit as well. The next one is a pattern actually written by me. This is the Sloth on the Shelf, and this was inspired, of course, by Elf on the Shelf, but it is a combination with a sloth, which I know is kind of niche, but it was really fun to design, and I would consider this to be low sew. You crochet in the limbs, so you don't have to do any sewing there. You do have to sew on the hat, the head, and then the face markings. So there's a little bit of sewing, but it's not a whole ton. I would consider this to be like an intermediate beginner pattern, and it does of course sit up on its own, which is so adorable. Next is Rudy the Reindeer by Kitsnits, and if you've been around on my channel, you know how much I love my jack-o'-lantern, which is another pattern by Kitsnits. I actually still have him sitting on my shelf even though it is November 15th today. I just can't bring myself to bring him off of the shelf, but I feel like if I had a Rudy the Reindeer, then I would definitely replace Jack the day after Halloween. The Jack pattern is so well written, so I have no doubts that this will be as well. The pattern is a little bit pricier, but I think it's well worth it for a well-written pattern. This next one is the Bundle Christmas Friends. These are No Sew and Low Sew by Green Frog Crochet, and this is a paid pattern, but I think that this would make for such good market prep if you were doing a Christmas market and you wanted to have some seasonal options at your booth. Something about the way that the eyes are placed so low just gives them this chibi look. I love it so much, and I think that they are so adorable. I really like that the base pattern also looks like it is the same across all of them, and you're just changing a little thing about them to make them different. I love when patterns do that, especially when it comes to market prep. Kicking off the accessories section, we have the Grinch hat by Nat Giso, and if you haven't seen her patterns, she makes tons of really cute bucket hats. She has quite a few fun festive options on top of the Grinch pattern, but I had to include this one specifically because I love the Grinch. I love both the cartoon movie as well as the live action one, and I just think that this hat is so adorable. I especially love the little sprouts of hair coming out of the top. Next is the Ugly Christmas Sweater Beanie by Hooked on Sunshine, and this is a free pattern. I actually found this off of Reddit where people were sharing their favorite Christmas patterns, and this was such a gem. I feel like the Ugly Christmas Sweater Beanie is the perfect name for this. I often find that these ugly Christmas sweaters are not ugly at all. They're very cute, but they're meant to be kind of unique, quirky, kitschy, and I feel like this nails that vibe exactly. It also kind of gives off vintage vibes. Like, I feel like you would find this pattern in a book from the 80s or something. Next is the Decor shawl by Kame Crochet, and I have talked about this one on my channel quite a few times already. It is on my to make list. I have ordered some of the yarn. I found it while I was browsing on Hobby's website. They had it listed, and they used the Hobby Christmas Universe yarn for this, which is a gorgeous self-striping yarn that also includes some sparkle to it. What I love about this shawl is the Christmas tree motifs. After my Lost Skulls shawl that I made, I am just really into making shawls, and I want to make a lot more of them. They are so fun and meditative. It's a little bit less of a commitment than a blanket or a sweater, but you still get to work on something that turns out really beautiful. I don't know if you're ready for the next one. It is so cute. It is the Cozy Christmas Cottage Crochet Bag by iHook Yarnery Workshop, and the attention to detail on this one is just impeccable. Everything from the little bit of smoke coming out of the chimney, if you look, it's got snow on the windowsills, the Christmas lights that are embroidered throughout the wreath. I love everything about this, and I think that if you carried this bag around, you would definitely be asked where you bought it. The Santa-inspired crochet headband ear warmer is our next pattern by Blossom Crochet. I really like the furry detail with the white fur trim around the red headband. I feel like it's a really fun nod to a Santa hat, but if you don't want to wear a Santa hat, it's still a really fun way to be festive. If I'm thinking about where I would probably wear this or see this out in the real world, I feel like if you wore this to like a Christmas tree lighting or a street where there's tons of Christmas lights and you're walking around with your hot cocoa. It's just very Hallmark moment. So cute. Next is the Dancing Snowflake Beanie by Divine Debris, and I love the color work on this one. It looks like a very intricate design, although when I did go look at the pattern itself, it just has back loop only half double crochet, pretty simple beginner friendly stitches. It doesn't look like anything too terribly complicated, although it does turn out to look like an intricate color work beanie. I also really love the use of the faux fur pom-pom at the top. I'm personally a big fan of that. However, I think this would also look beautiful if you made a yarn pom-pom out of that same blue color or whatever color you decided to use for the colored band. The last one is the Jingle Bells elf scarf, and this one is so festive and fun. I could imagine my favorite elementary school teacher wearing this to our Christmas party or something like that. The striping on the leggings is a really fun way to incorporate both the red and white, but then I love the fur detail as well as the jingle bells down at the bottom. I also think that this would probably work up pretty quickly, and if you have these colors in your scrap yarn stash, I don't think you would need a whole ton to make this project. Before we jump into the first pattern, I just wanted to call out that all of the patterns in this section are free except for the last one, so just keep that in mind as we go throughout. The first one is the Christmas light sweater pattern by Hobby, and if you all haven't looked at their website for their free patterns, I definitely recommend doing it. There were some gems on there, including this one. I feel like this just looks like you are a Christmas tree wrapped up in lights. It is so cute and fun. It also seems like a good way to maybe use up some of your colorful scrap yarn for those little light bulbs. But also, if green isn't really your color and you don't want to wear a green sweater, you could totally swap out the base with white, red, whatever you want. I feel like Snoopy has really had a moment this year, so when I saw this Snoopy Christmas sweater, I knew I had to include it. It does look like a really great way to practice your tapestry crochet. I also really love all of the striping along the sleeves, and they almost give a balloon vibe. Like, I like how flowy and thick the sleeves are. Just a very cute pattern, and I knew I wanted to include it because who doesn't love Snoopy around Christmas time? Another one with a lot of color work. This one might be a little bit more advanced than the last one, just looking at it. This is the Crochet Alpaca Christmas Sweater by Joy of Motion. Not only is the alpaca so cute and quirky on the front, but I also love all of the other design details along the front panel and the sleeves. The triangles, the striping, all of the polka dots on the sleeves. It's just so fun, and I feel like, again, it kind of hits the nail on the head for ugly Christmas sweater, even though there's absolutely nothing ugly about this. It is so cute. We have a baby sweater next. This is the Free Easy Karen Miltered Striped Baby Sweater by Yarnspirations, and I really do love the two buttons at the top. I feel like it looks kind of elegant for a baby sweater. I also feel that this would be a great scrap yarn project since you wouldn't need a whole ton of it because the size would be so small. If you wanted to do other colors too, you could definitely swap it out for maybe white and red like candy cane striping or blue and silver, but I personally really do love the classic red and green look. Another free pattern from Hobby is the Santa's Helper Christmas Sweater, and this is actually a raglan style construction, meaning it is worked top down, not bottom to top. And I really do love this sweater. If I were to make it personally, I think I would swap out that top color. It's almost giving a gray. I think I would use more of a bright white. And then I also would probably add a collar just because I'm not a big boat neck person, but I feel like this gives you a really great base and you could definitely customize it to fit whatever you want. Now we're at the last pattern in this section, which is going to be the paid one. This is the Candy Cane Crochet Christmas Sweater pattern by Crochet Bow, and I do just want to flag that this is one of the more expensive patterns that I have come across. This one is $17.55. However, for me personally, if I really wanted to make this, I would shell out the cash. I could just see how much attention to detail went into making this sweater. Everything from the ribbed neckline all the way down to the candy canes and the different textures that are woven throughout. It is just such a beautiful sweater. I always say I want it to look like the holiday threw up all over whatever I am making, and I feel like this accomplishes that perfectly. I hope you guys are ready for the home decor section because there are some very cute items here. To kick this off, we have the nativity scene by Off the Beaten Hook. I knew that I wanted to include one nativity set in this pattern roundup, and this one was my favorite. It is a nice balance between detailed enough yet still simple that it wouldn't take you 5 years to make. Some of the ones I saw were beautiful but so ornate, and I feel like this one is just the perfect balance. The mini sweater by Sweet Softies is next, and this is such a cute little free pattern. I feel like it would make for some great ornaments, or maybe if you're going to a Christmas party and want to bring a host gift, you could wrap it around a wine bottle or something like that. Also, yet again, another great way to use up some scrap yarn. Another free YouTube tutorial by Off the Beaten Hook. This is the Christmas Tree Trio, and I really love the texture of these different trees. I didn't look at the construction of this actually, and I'm wondering, I'm thinking it's stuffed. It almost looks like it's firm and it has like one of those styrofoam cones in it, but my assumption is that it's actually stuffed. Either way, these are beautiful. It looks like a set that you would find like at TJ Maxx or Home Goods that is actually for sale, but the best part about it is you made it yourself with love, and it's probably much higher quality than those things, and I just love how there's 3 different sizes too. I've actually made the next one. This is the Crochet Candy Cane and Tree Stripe Hot Pad by Daisy Farm Crafts, and the funny thing is I made this for my mom last year for Christmas. As I was thinking about when I made it, I realized that I did gift this, even though my whole spiel at the beginning was I'd rather not gift Christmas gifts to people on Christmas. Anyway, I don't know what's changed between now and then, but this pattern was amazing and really fun to work up. I feel like it's a great introduction to tapestry crochet as well, because you do work some floats as you work up the hot pad. Next is the Easy Crochet Christmas Blanket by Malou, and it is another free pattern, and I feel like this looks like something straight out of a Pottery Barn magazine. I really love the classic white background of it, but the star of the show really is that self-striping yarn. I also love the pops of the different pom-poms. I think it just makes this a little bit more fun and festive. Next is the Santa Gift Bag by Premier Yarns, and I could totally see this becoming like a family heirloom item or a tradition that gets filled and used to open up Christmas presents on Christmas Day. I also think that it just makes for really fun decor, and I love things that are both functional yet decorative like that. Speaking of Pottery Barn, next we have the Candy Cane Crochet Pillow Pattern, and I seem to remember Pottery Barn having a very similar pillow and charging an exorbitant amount for it last year. Now, I don't know if that had anything to do with the creation of this or which came first. Either way, I feel like having your own handmade version is always better. I think it would look so cute on your couch or your bed or anywhere that you need a little festive pop of fun. The Granny Square Christmas Tree Stocking is next, and this is yet another one that I think could easily become an heirloom item passed throughout generations. It is so beautiful, and what I love about granny squares is not only are they so versatile, but they really pack a punch. They can make a project look much more intricate when really it's just made out of some simple granny squares. Next is the Gingerbread Afghan or Tree Skirt, and I think that the Afghan itself is beautiful. However, the tree skirt is what really caught my eye, especially the colors that were used in this picture. This is just like the perfect vintage tree skirt if you ask me. I feel like I would find this in one of my grandma's vintage pattern books from like the 70s or the 80s. And again, the colors are just so beautiful. I love that more muted green with the deeper red and the cream color. I would love to have this underneath my tree. Next, we have a pillow and throw combination. This is the Peppermint Pillow and Throw by Yarnspirations. Something about this is like mesmerizing with all of the different swirls from the peppermints. I'm not a big fan of white Christmas trees, but I do love the way that this picture is set up. Everything is so aesthetic and clean. I think that the pillow is also a really nice touch. I don't often see a matching set like this, and I feel like I could not have a Christmas pattern roundup without an advent calendar. So this is the Christmas Advent Calendar by Sam Sabito Crochets, and I always loved getting those little chocolate advent calendars from Trader Joe's every year as a kid, even though the chocolate was very small, and I might be in the minority, but I actually really liked how they tasted, but I know a lot of people didn't. So I think crocheting your own is a great way to carry some of that magic into adulthood, and you could even put better tasting chocolate or more chocolate in each of the pockets if you want. What I really love about this one is how unique each different square is on its own, and also if you look closely, the wooden buttons actually have the calendar day on them, which is such a cute little touch. That's going to wrap up all 30 of the Christmas patterns today. I hope that you saw something in there that you'd like to make this holiday season to help you get in the spirit. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to know what stood out to you. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll be back in the future with more crochet related content very soon. Thanks, bye!